What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to L Stream.
Yeah.
Little problem last week, all taken care of. We back in business. How's everybody doing? We've been setting up.
Yeah.
We actually forgot to grab. You want to grab that laptop?
Yeah, I'll grab the laptop. We're doing a 5-man job.
Oh, my Lord. We had 3 hours to set up today to get everything going, and we forgot to set up a laptop, so we can't even, talk to you guys. What's happening with that? But this is going to be fun. The voting for the mics went in an interesting direction, so I'm actually kind of excited for this one. A couple quick updates. We had updates, right? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Big one coming up this Thursday. We have another Roswell Pro Audio live stream, another virtual showroom with Charles Ruggiero Band is coming in. Killer jazz band. It's different. He's got different players from the last time, so it's going to be a whole new thing. But we got drums, we have upright bass, acoustic piano, and it's sax, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sax. Gonna be great. It's gonna be a really good time. That's on Thursday at 6 p.m. We're gonna be streaming to the Roswell channel and to the Ultimate Studios Inc. channel. I'll get that stream set up hopefully tonight as well. We're lining up some guests. We're going to be bringing some people on in the next couple months, some different mic companies. We're going to do some acoustic talk coming up in the fall. I'm trying to get a new guest lined up for that. Just some interesting topics that I think will help all of us. Would be cool. And I'm just going to talk while he kind of gets a laptop set up, which, if you know me, isn't a problem. Is not a problem. Also working on some new one-shot sample libraries. I have a backlog of sessions that I think we got some cool tones with. So I'm trying to get everything put together. I'm going to do some cleanup on the original volume 1, get everything so it all works together. Or if you're changing between them, things line up. So that's going to be coming out hopefully in the next week. Obviously, I'll let everybody know about that. But the first kit out of the gates is a pretty cool kit. So I'm excited about that as well. Also just finished up some of the live room updates. So there's going to be some video with that. The whole live room has been tweaked. I spent 3 full days just recording and moving stuff everywhere, moving all the panels. I had extra absorption panels like hanging from things. I was taping them to the wall, doing all sorts of things, trying to fix or improve a few things that I thought could be improved, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I literally got that put together 2 days ago. There'll be a YouTube short coming out probably in the next day or two, just with one of the last pieces. And then I tried to film as much as I could so I can put a long form video together that shows each of the elements, and then I'll do a little playing on the end of it too. Which will be cool.
The Charles and Arnie show is a go.
We don't have, hey, grab one of those in the front room.
Yeah.
The little, tables, grab one of those suckers.
Yeah.
So you can just set that right there. So there's going to be video of that. I'm happy with how the room has turned out. Not only does it look a little bit better, which was not the goal in the beginning. The goal is to try to improve some things acoustically, but I was able to kind of do both, so I'm really happy with that. You'll see a piece of it tonight behind the drum set once I get in there, which will be nice. What else? We have a backlog of video. It's been so busy here, I haven't had a chance to finish and finalize a lot of these videos. We just did something with this thing. Here, hold on. This thing is cool. The Joe Meek, the GBQ pedal, this thing, the distortion on it, holy crap, it's awesome. We did a little cue with this thing, and
yeah.
it sounds, the guitar tones, redonkulous, just insane. So that video is almost done. I'm editing that. We wrote this piece, so we filmed us writing, kind of tweaking it, what we got, and then I did a mix breakdown with it because I thought it just came out so good. But I didn't want the videos to be too long, so I split them into two. And it's cool. I'm really excited for that. You all good there?
Yeah.
All right. We have enough power on that thing?
Yeah, the battery is full, so it should last for an hour.
Be good.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we get to the main event?
Yes.
How's everybody doing, though? I've been talking, letting him get a laptop going, giving you some updates of what's going on around here. Oh, there's another update. You can't see it in the cameras. I'll save that one.
Yeah.
I'll save that one. There's another fairly, I would say, major change here in the control room. Not to the layout per se of anything, but to the sonics, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll wait because there's still one piece coming. so I'm not gonna blow my wad yet.
Yeah. So Rigo Vargas said recently started following you because of the Trident console, and you have a great channel.
Thank you. Trident console's bitching too. Thing rocks.
I know.
Fun to use. Oh, one new thing. This is kind of cool, and it works well on anything that has enough metal to stick. I got this magnetic tape, this dry erase magnetic tape.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have to use tape anymore, and I got a whole bunch of different colored dry erase pins, so now we can erase and easily not wasting tape, and boom. I'm labeling everything I can in the studio that has metal that will stick. It does not stick to the front of the gear, unfortunately.
Yeah. JS says, on a serious note, you guys bring great joy to life. Cheers. Wow, that's deep.
Your check will be in the mail. Thank you. That's awesome. All right. That's actually really cool, man.
I know.
Really cool.
I know. It's just like Rabbit is asking, where's the drumming buddy?
The drumming buddy?
Yeah.
Who's he talking about?
Maybe, if there's somebody drumming, it's like, well, it's going to be you.
Yeah, it's going to be me today, so you guys all have to suffer through my playing. I tried to get someone else to come over, but everybody's busy right now, either out gigging on the road or a couple of them are in studio working on new releases for the fall, so, which is good. I'd rather have everybody out working and playing gigs than, have time to come play this 32-second song.
Studio Dude said, magnetic scribble strip? What a concept. I love it.
Studio Dude, I owe him a message back because we were talking. He knows the update that I didn't want to say because we were talking about it. Yeah, I know, magnetic scribble strip. What year is this?
Oh, this is great.
But hey, gives me something to write. And there's colors. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but everything's got nice colors. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, it's numbers and colors sometimes help, especially when you have a lot of numbers to deal with. Yeah.
I like visual. For me, all my colors out here match what's in the box.
Yeah.
So my Logic session looks like the same colors on the board. So if I just look at it, I don't even have to know what I'm looking at. Just see the colors to know what's where.
Yeah, it's interesting that the color.
For me, it's idiocracy for Charlie.
Yeah, the color coding people do, right, for the tracks. People sometimes put drums in a certain color, guitars in a certain color. It's always interesting if there's a majority of color.
Drums are always red, period. If you do it a different color, it's wrong. Bass is blue. I know, original. Guitars are green. Sticking on this whole original thing. I do all my keys, synths, whatever, variations of yellow. All my vocals are variations of orange. I do percussion pink. Original, I know.
Yeah.
I'm probably the first person ever to do that. What else do I use? When I'm tracking, all my buses are a light, like an ice blue. And that gets transferred to my buses when I'm mixing.
What about background vocals?
There'll be a variation of. There's Logic has like two strips where it goes from kind of orange to dark orange. One goes kind of to brown, and that's all my vocals will be variations of that.
Okay.
So I'll make like backing vocals on the darker side of the orange spectrum, and then the lead vocals on the lighter side.
I know. It's simple, but man, it's a time saver.
Well, yeah, I don't want to think about what color was I doing for that.
Yeah.
And then if you have a giant session as effects stuff, I'll usually do some shade of purple. Or even in that pinkish, like purple area, be any other effects or sounds and stuff like that. But I stick with that because it's easy. What else we have? I mean, that's kind of it for updates, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Delilah's right behind me, and my mic is pointing that direction. You are going to hear her a lot today on this stream. Hopefully, it'll be in sync in time. All right, so let's get to what we're here for, which is to do a little playing. So the voting ended up kind of interesting, especially with the drums. It swung to we had a tie going in last week, and the red 12s for the overheads actually won out. So we do have a stereo pair of those on the overheads. It is a unique tone. They've got their own sound, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And they're Omni. So the room here, let me just give you just a quick look at the room. Sorry, I have to look behind me to see what camera it is. It's 6. That's the wrong mouse.
6, yeah.
All right, so there's the room setup. We have nothing around the kit. It's actually really hard to see those mics. They're so tiny.
Yeah, they disappear in the clips.
Yeah, but the room is wide open, you know. So there's nothing around here. I'll show you what you're in 6. Oh, that was the same camera. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
So that's right in front of the kit where the acoustic is going to be. So we have no gobos going anywhere in the room whatsoever. The room's wide open. And those mics are Omni, and you're going to hear them wide open. They're only, I'm looking at them, probably about 2 feet above the cymbals. Probably could have lowered them a little bit, but we'll roll with where they are because it's kind of cool tone. RE20 on the kick. We had it. Was there a tie, the RE20 for the kick and the bass? I'd have to look again. But
V67, wasn't it?
Well, we put that on there, but I think we had a tie. Where were we at? So, front kick. Oh, yeah, RE21, big time there. Oh, yeah, and the RE20 it slightly edged out the 67X. But we don't want to move things around because it's such a pain in the arse. So we put the RE20 in the kick. We have a Roswell V67X on the bass. Unidyne, you guys made Ernesto happy. He gets to use his favorite mic on the electric, the Unidyne, and the AKG 451 one out on the acoustic. So, which actually sounds, I haven't used that mic in quite some time.
It sounds very, very cool.
Very good. All right, so we have, here's the setup. Got the good old Ludwig Classic Maples, 24, 13, 16. I'm using the 8x14 Black Beauty today. We used it on session the other day. It sounded pretty cool, so I decided to leave it up. Paiste, all my Paistes, the hi-hats are 15-inch giant beat tops with a 2002 bottom, 2002 22-inch ride. What am I doing? Oh, I pulled out the Dark Energy. Dark Energy Crash. This is a 19, this is a 18? 18. And the good old Formula 602 Modern Essential 18 over there. RE20 in the kick. The placement, just so everybody knows, is about halfway in the drum. And it's off-center. So, here, do this. This is called improvisation. If that's the drum, and that's the center, the drum is off-center about this side right here, about halfway in, angled at the beater. How was that for some improv? Let me know if that was any good. If it wasn't, don't tell me. Lie to me. As Sheryl Crow said, lie to me. What was that song?
That's funny.
It was a good song. And it's RE20. The positioning of the overheads, the one here on the hi-hat side is actually kind of over the center of this crash because they're omnis, so I'm not so worried about proximity effect. And I measured them off the snare, not off the kick snare this time. And this guy is pointing down, kind of in between these 3 elements over here. And that's our sound. You want me to just play a little bit?
Yeah.
Hear it?
Yeah, that sounds pretty big.
Yeah, so you guys can, hey, Ernesto?
Yeah.
Just mute the kick drum mic real quick, just so they can hear what the overheads are doing, because, you know, they're omni.
Yeah.
So I just want to hear how much of the room they're getting.
Okay, so mute it on the console, right?
Yeah, you could just mute those 2. Or in the box, either way.
All right. Just the kick, right?
Yeah, just the kick.
All right, mute it. All right.
That's why I don't spin sticks, because I can't. All right, so we try to track this little guy.
Yeah, let's do this.
So we're going to use, just for me to track to, we have the acoustic guitar from the last time, and that's what I'm going to play to. Did that work?
That was beautiful.
It's funny because I just heard you ask me if that worked in your old acoustic track.
Yes.
All right, I'm coming back in.
All right. And let's go back here. And here we are.
Oh, it gets warm in here. Okay. All right, so yeah, so now he's gonna go in and do some acoustics.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Oh, Brent says I missed what microphones were picked.
Okay, we'll run this one while you go in there and set up. I'll run it again. Drums, RE20 in the kick. Actually, that was a tie on the bass and the bass drum, so we decided to put it in the kick on this one, so we didn't have to move around. So RE20 on the kick. 12 gauge red 12s for overheads. Then the acoustic that he's going to go play into now is the AKG 451B. The bass is the Roswell Pro Audio Mini K 67X. And am I on camera here? Yeah, okay, good. And then what's left? The electric guitar is the Shure Unidyne 3, which is Ernesto's favorite. I'm going to actually let me get him on so I can hear him in there. Let's turn the old acoustics off. Can you hear me there, buddy?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me get him up on camera and he can kind of tell you what's going on in there. All right, you're live, bro.
Okay, so here we are, and the 451. We tried many positions just in case, one sounded worse than the other. And we finalized it
or better than the other.
Yeah. Well, you want to take the bat away first, right? So we tested it like closer to the hole and got really boomy. And further away from the 12th fret, it got kind of thin. So you want to make a compromise between thickness and chime from these strings, So actually, this sounds very nice. And I don't think we're cranking too much on the mic pre, so I can back off, right? So I don't have to be really on the mic.
No, we've got a fair amount of headroom left.
Yeah, so that's another thing you have to always consider when picking up an acoustic. And if you do like heavy strums, be careful with the sound hole because it can really push out some wind and make the mic overload, and you don't want that. So you'll be like, where's that boominess coming from? It's like, well, it's just pointing at the hole, so not a good position. So there you go. And this sounds pretty damn good.
So we should also say there is no EQ or compression.
Nothing.
There was none on the drums and there's none on the acoustic. So this is just mic placement, player, and you're just hearing what it sounds like raw. The only thing that has a little bit of compression is the bass, because bass always needs some. All right, so it's a jazz bass, Aguilar pickups. We've got a 67X, Roswell 67X on the Polytone Mini Brute.
Yes.
And I'm just going to take you from the top.
Yeah. Can I have a little bit of a monitor?
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to mute us. All right, here we go. Nice. I'm going to mute the guitars. And let's just hear some drums and bass.
Probably want to switch the camera.
Yeah. Okay, so that actually, those drum mics are roomy. I mean, when you have Omnis, here's one thing that is kind of cool about Omnis for overheads is they're smooth. You're not going to get proximity effect that you'll get from any sort of cardioid mic. So we could probably even lower them down even more. Your high end's gonna be a little smoother. And they're gonna be pretty full. But it's Omni, so whatever room you are in now becomes a huge part of your recording. Which, if that's what you're looking for, a pair of Omnis on the overs, you crush them with some compression, you get a pretty exciting sound actually, and smooth too. Especially if you're in a space that you want to make the space a part of your recording. I'd say it's pretty bitchin'. You ready to do some electric guitar? All right, so let's see. Are you on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sexy. I'll pan you to the right for this.
Yep.
So you can hear what's going on. Play a little?
Mm-hmm.
Turn the volume. Yep. Okay. All right, I'm going to mute us so we don't get a feedback loop. Oh, let me get him up on the... I tried to go back to the drums. There is no electric on the end. Hard to beat a Unidyne 3. All right, so I'm going to pan that one back to the left. We got the new one to the right. Play a little?
Yep.
Oh, there we are. All right, let's double. Here we go. All right, let's see. I'm going to crank it up in here a little bit, so I'm going to mute me for a second. Not the stream. I almost muted the stream again. Let's take it from the top. And there we have it. Yeah. That's it. It's interesting sound.
Yeah, totally.
With the overheads being omnis, and those red 12s definitely have a vibe. Holy crap. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, and the V67 definitely has a tone, man. It's great.
What does the console like that cost? Bill, that's a good question. I think the 32 is going to be around, depending on how you get it loaded, because you have some options with input and output transformers. And they can be added later. So you could get one that's just fully discrete and add the input transformers later. I mean, it's not actually that hard to do. Most of them are right on the channels. But I want to say a 32. You can go to the Trident Audio Development website and double check this, because you can input like your configuration and it will give you an idea of the price. But I want to say it's around 60 grand. It's right in that ballpark, 58, 59, 60 somewhere. Like I said, depending on your configuration. But the cool thing with that is if you want to eventually have, say, input transformers with everything and even the output, I'm not sure. You'd have to ask them if that's something that you can do later. But you could actually install that stuff later so you could build into it if that's what you wanted to do. I believe it's that way. I would double check anything with them before taking my word for it, though.
Yeah, John says, I need to give the Red 12 another shot as a mono overhead.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool, actually. And try to get it kind of down and low. I kind of wish if we would have had more time, I maybe would have tried that today, because you don't have the proximity issues with cymbals and whatnot. So you could probably lower one of those suckers right down, as long as it wasn't, bugging the drummer, but right down and as low as possible, and it'd be pretty cool sound. And they handle cymbals well. I would say they're a little on the darkish side. Mm-hmm. Not dark, but definitely it's not a big, bright, open top end, which means even with cymbals, if they're going nuts, you hit that sucker with some compression, it sounds pretty cool. They're great room mics, too. Really good. But I'm shocked at just how it's like the whole thing's got a vibe. I want to hear just drums. Well, I want to hear the whole thing. I'm going to pan the drums in a little.
Yeah, so according to Sweetwater, is saying the low price Trident board is $13,750.
Oh, okay. So this is a Trident 88. There's three different series. There's a Trident 68, Trident 78, and Trident 88. So I'm not sure which board that is on Sweetwater.
That's the 68, 15, 16 channel.
Okay, yeah. So that's the 68, which is the full Trident mic pre. I think the EQ is based on the 80B. It might be similar to what was in the Toft, because that's kind of, it's taken over for the Toft brand not being around now. And what else? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what else is different on those. I think the amount of aux sends is different. There might not be any tilt EQ on the monitor. Man, I have to look at that again. But I think that's, there's a fair amount of differences. It's also not fully modular, where the 78 is closer to the 88. I think you get 6 aux channels. It's also the 80B EQ. The 88 has the 80C, which is the top and bottom is sweepable. The 80B, you had 60 and 120 selectable on the bottom and 8K and 12K selectable on the top. I can sweep through all of them. And at 78, I think is modular. It's in banks of 8, where the 88 here, I've got 8 channels of auxes, the 80C EQ. All the monitor returns have the tilt EQ on them. There's another difference that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, and it's completely fully modular, and it's really easy to. I haven't had to do this, but it is easy. I could be in the middle of a session and pull a channel out and keep working, have no problems with that. Actually, you just have to mute the channel and pull it out, and you can totally do that. So that's the main differences I can remember off the top of my head of those 3 consoles.
Yeah, so the 88 32 channel is 50K.
Is that fully loaded? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Might be. Heck, that's a good deal. That's the case. Holy crap. That's a smoking deal. But I think if you get it fully loaded with input transformers, output transformers, all that, it raises the cost. But you don't need to. I mean, I actually like the discrete channels on this for something like the piano. I prefer on the channels with the no Lundaus. Sometimes acoustic guitar also. Usually drums, bass, and everything else I like on the input transformers. It just gives, you can drive it a little harder, and it just gives it, there's a little bit of mid-range push. The Lundaus are pretty clean, but there is something happens there that I just tend to like on it. But the piano, I always stay on the transformerless channels. It sounds really cool.
Well, Studio Dude says I prefer darkish overheads personally. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing with dark overheads is you can always brighten them up a little bit, and it'll be a different type of bright than if you have a mic that's already bright on the overheads. Articulation will be a little bit different too. Yeah, I tend to like things that aren't too overly. My preference, I guess, is kind of similar. I don't like things that are overly bright. I don't mind smooth and open, but something that's obviously like whoa. Which is why ribbons are cool on overheads too.
Yep. So yeah, but I was impressed about the 451. Sounded nice.
Yeah, I haven't used that mic in a long time. I used to use that some for snare and overheads, but ever since I got the SDC 84, I prefer it on the snare over the 451. But man, on the acoustic, I was like, holy crap, that thing did sound pretty good. And nothing's going on. There's no compression, no EQ. It's just, how old are those strings?
No, they're actually not more than a month old.
So they're pretty.
Yeah,
they're pretty new. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play that acoustic that much, so yeah, I mean, those are considered new strings. Yeah, for acoustics, that's pretty new.
Yeah.
Just get some dark case, and it's the right top hand all the time.
Anything else?
Yeah, it's saying here ribbons on overheads can be awesome. An affordable pair of matched Cascade fatheads work nicely.
Oh yeah, the Cascade fathead. Even if they're not matched, I've used unmatched pairs that sounded. I mean, sometimes the difference is negligible. Sometimes you can't tell it at all, and once you get everything going, it doesn't matter. But if you can't get a matched pair, awesome. But I've used an unmatched pair, and they're really nice. I use my 4080s, the Audio Technicas, for that sometimes too. Actually, holy crap, we still have a pair of the MXL 144s. Those are dark and can be a really cool overhead also. I had 4 of those. I did some kick drum experimenting. I think I blew 2 of them up. Figured I was going to blow a mic up, one that I wouldn't have to mortgage a limb to get again. What else? What am I missing? Anything?
My favorite overheads, are the AT2050s. Smaller than. I think it's very interesting sound that we got from those.
Yeah, it's with the drums the way they are. It makes you hear. Here, if I mute the drums. Okay, obviously you're going to hear things different because there's no drums there, but it makes you hear the other instruments nothing else has any real ambience, especially the stuff that's in the ISO booth. And even the acoustics, you're close enough to where the room itself isn't having a huge effect on it. But as soon as you do this... kind of changes the perspective of how you hear things.
Yep. Sonic
It's
Solution
cool.
is asking, how big is your live room roundabout? It sounds so good.
It's a little over 600 square feet. So, dimensions, that's a great question. It's been a while since I've measured. I don't remember off the top of my head. 26 feet long. It's over 20 wide. But it's a little over 600 square feet with just shy of 12-foot ceilings, and the ceiling is all like sawtooth, which that's part of what got redone in the last couple months, and I'll get that in this video that's coming up too, just to kind of see that. But half of the ceiling now, there's 12 bays, and it's all sawtooth, and every one is the opposite. So if I've got one going up, the next one's going down, and the way they work, and half of those now have birch on them. And the other half are actually painted an eggshell black. And I'll try to get some photos and stuff of that in there. So about just shy of 12-foot ceilings, about 600-ish square foot room. And it is way better now with these changes that have happened. I mean, you can see behind the kit that's in there, there's a whole brand new panel behind where there used to be an 8-foot tall, like semi-poly kind of diffuser. That's gone. It's 3 inches. It's a 6 foot wide by 6 foot tall by 3 inch deep, full of Roxol. And then on top of it, I don't know if you can see it in the photo. No, you can't see it on the camera. I'll get some photos out. But there's a 30 inch tall by 6 foot wide wood panel that's slightly slanted on the top. And that was all part of my experimenting when I was trying to work on imaging around the kit, actually. I wanted to be able to back into the wall a little bit more, but not have to use gobos to take away a lot of the room or to improve the imaging. I mean, now you're hearing a lot of room because we've got a pair of Omnis over the top of it. So, but if I was with a non-Omni, like my normal overheads that are usually some sort of cardioid, which is like 95% of the time, it's an open sound in the room there. You get the sense that you're in a space, but it doesn't sound roomy, and I don't even have to put gobos out anymore. And the left to right is, in the overheads, I don't even have to pan too far out to start getting a sense of that, which was part of what I was going for. And I'll probably need to do a video on that, kind of going through that at some point, although I don't have a before and after. You know, everybody hear that snoring? Anything else?
No, I mean, they're just saying he's jealous about the dimensions. So
it's funny how it works out. When moved into this studio, the old studio was literally smaller than the control room that I have now. And we were doing live. We were tracking live in that room, weren't we? We were doing all sorts of stuff. So get in here. Got this, now a control room that's only a control room that's slightly larger than the entire room at the old place, and there's a lot of space in the live room, and there's an ISO booth, and now I wish I had twice the space because like the storage in the back is completely full. I have a second ISO that I built in the back that's great for amps and whatnot, but man, the space fills up quick. But it is a good size space. It's live enough. It's got enough room to do some live stuff in it, but it's not so big that we have to have tons of gobos to keep blocking things off.
yeah.
So
John asks, how do you feel about the new wall panels you did?
love them, actually. It's been a giant improvement. And the back wall that you could see behind Ernesto while he was playing today, there's a whole new skyline array of diffusers along the back wall and 2 panels on the side. That's where a lot of the ones that used to be behind the kit area moved to. And it's made a huge difference. So there's actually a little bit more front-facing absorption in the room than there was before. Because before I only had a couple panels on the wall that you never see, which is directly under the window right here, and then the corners. But now there's actually 2 giant 8-foot panels on the back wall that replaced the skyline diffuser like tall panels that are just, it's 4 inches thick of Roxol, and then obviously the 6x6 panel that's behind the drums now. You know, trying to keep it live, but also realized that I needed a little bit more absorption to deal with some of the reflections I didn't like, and to clean up a little bit of the high mid that was feeling a little stuffy to me, which made the room feel more open.
Yeah.
So
Bill is asking, how many rooms do you have?
there's 2 main rooms and 2 ISO booths. So there's the control room we're in now, the live room that you saw while we were playing, directly over here. What camera am I on? Yeah. So that blue door, there's an ISO booth, kind of an airlock ISO area there. We have 6 mic lines in there. There's a headphone Ethernet line for headphones. There's speaker lines for amp cabs. Pretty much everything to go from here to in there, or from there to in the live room. And then there's a live room, and then off the back of the live room, which I don't think you can see. Here, let me go to camera 7 real quick. You can kind of see. So if you look in the back right corner there, you'll see a door, and all the other drum sets and everything are back there, but there's also another ISO booth that we use for amps. Bass works back there. There's no wall, so that room isn't partitioned off like this one is as an ISO. The whole back area where the drums and all that is all open. That side of the room, it's almost kind of done. I've got 2 new really tall absorbers in there and some drapes in the carpet. I'll do some photos and go through that too, so we can kind of make it smaller. But since there's no wall, you put an amp back there, bass, or guitar, and just crank it. You don't have to worry about like proximity of the walls, so you still have the volume of the entire back room, which is about 12 feet wide by 22 long, something like that. So even when we dry it up around the amps, you still have all that, that space, that cubic space. It's not just the square footage, but there's a lot of volume, so you can crank back there. And there's no adverse effects from proximity of the walls or absorption that is directly around the amps. And it works really good. I've even had a bass amp and a guitar amp back there with just 2 gobos in the middle, and we've tracked. And the bleed was so negligible, it didn't matter.
Bill is quickly asking, I wasn't here when you started, but are you using
Good, you missed all the best.
Or other pre's or
combination? Oh, we never talked about that, actually. Great question. Everything is coming through the Trident. We're not running no outboard pre's on this, so it's just all the mics going right into the board, and it is on the channels with the Lundau input transformers. No EQ, keeping this real simple, just so it's just hearing the mics and the instrument. The only processing is on the bass, the Golden Age Comp 3A Junior, which I love on bass.
Yeah, and only 1 kick mic and just a pair of overheads.
Yeah, RE20 in the kick, the Red 12s on the overheads.
No snare mic.
No snare mic. Although I noticed I left the other Unidite on the snare. I'm like, man, I hope no one sees this on camera, but I don't think you can see it.
No.
Like someone's going to not believe us. But no, you couldn't listen to that and think there's a snare mic, a close snare mic going. No way. No way.
Yeah, and then like tunnels on kicks, is none of that.
No, there's just a kit in the room. There is a little bit of a towel laying inside the bass drum, and it's slightly touching the batter and the reso head, just to clean up a little. The mic is halfway in the drum, offset a little, and angled towards the beater.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I had a really cool, demonstration earlier where I used the ride cymbal to let you know. I don't know if that came through. For all I know, no one heard it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly standard, and nothing fancy here.
Yeah.
That's
the idea was to keep it easy because it's only Ernesto and I doing all these jobs.
Yeah.
And then there was a technical glitch with the switch dropping the audio in the middle. So, easy went out the door really quickly, which it always does in these things. But at least, again, everybody got to see it all live.
Yeah. I mean, everything was played live right here. No auto-tune.
Oh, man, if I was singing, there'd be lots of auto-tune. I'm not sure auto-tune could handle that. Okay. Well, if we got any other topics, questions, things to talk about.
Bill is asking, what is your purpose for not having a near mic on the snare?
Oh, it was just for these. We were just keeping it simple. Maybe we'll add a 4 mic setup next time, so we'll do a snare mic thing. It was more of just The first one of these, we just did 2 mics, like a kit front and an overhead. This one, since we had stereo pairs of some of them, decided to do a 3, mic, minimal miking thing. So maybe next time we'll do 4 and we'll add a snare mic in there in the voting. That was the only reason we were doing it.
Yep. Just for simplicity, it's like, how many mics do you need just to get a basic cool drum sound,
We could even do one the next time where we vote on the configuration of the overheads.
Yeah.
XY or TF stereo pair, Glyn Johns.
Yeah.
All right, I'll think about that.
Yeah.
That might actually be kind of cool. And then we'll just keep it different every time.
Yep. All right, yeah, I guess that's it.
We got it? All right. Then I'm going to... It's been fun. It's been interesting. Where's the outro graphic? And the computer is way back behind me. There it is. Anyway, all right, everybody. You all rock. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. I got to figure out what I'm going to.